About 5 months ago, I bought my first smoker and I had zero experience smoking meat. I'd grill steaks on a propane grill or on my propane broiler, or I would just use a cast iron skillet. But I had never low and slow cooked anything outdoors in my life. I went with the Weber SearWood pellet smoker, and in this video, I'm going to give you my completely honest take on its performance after 5 months of use. I'll cover the assembly, the smart remote features, I'll walk you through the actual cooks I've been doing like pork butts, chicken thighs, and steaks, and I'll tell you about the one upgrade that turned this thing from a good smoker into an absolute workhorse. I'll keep this assembly section short since there really was not much to complain about here. There are a lot of parts. When you open the box, it looks like a pretty big project, but the diagrams and the instructions are clear on how everything fits together. I had the whole thing assembled and ready to go without any real issues in short order. There are, however, a couple things worth noting out of the box. It comes with one drip tray insert that acts as a grease catch. These are disposable and you'll run through them pretty quick, so I found some aftermarket versions on Amazon that work great. I'll have those linked below. It also comes with 2 temperature probes that plug directly into the unit. You can track your meat temps right on the control panel without needing a separate thermometer. This is a very nice touch for a novice like me who is still learning the smoking process. You'll also be able to see these readings on the phone app once you have everything hooked up. Now, something that's worth mentioning is that my outdoor kitchen area only has electric power running to it. That's actually one of the main reasons why I went with a pellet smoker for this location. It runs on electricity and wood pellets, so all I needed was an outlet. The previous owner had a Traeger sitting in this spot, and the sear would fit right into the same location. It's not the lightest grill in the world, so getting it into position took a little maneuvering, but once it's there, it looks great and the fit is solid. One small upgrade I did right away was that I swapped out the stock wheels for 4 casters, 2 of them being lever casters I found on Amazon. The stock wheels work fine, but they make it a pain to slide the grill in and out of the outdoor kitchen space that I have. With the casters, I can roll it straight back and straight out way easier. Now, I'll be honest, it's not the cleanest upgrade that I've ever employed, but it does get the job done and the unit sits stable in the ground when the casters are disengaged. Overall, this unit is very easy to use and I hooked it up with my Wi-Fi in about 2 minutes. So now I can control the temperatures and monitor my meat probes directly from my phone. This is huge when you're looking to cook things like pork butts that can take up to 18 hours. With the app, I can check up on the cook no matter where I'm at, and if I need to bump the temperature, I can do it from the couch. There's no need to stop what you're doing, walk outside, and mess with the control panel. It really does make this a set it and forget it cooking experience. And on the topic of temperature, this thing holds a steady temperature extremely well. I'm talking about rock solid for hours. In addition, I've had no issues running the budget pellets. I get these from both H-E-B and Pit Boss, which are generally some of the cheapest pellets on the market, and the grill just doesn't care. It feeds them fine with the auger, and I haven't yet had any jams. For a novice like myself, that flexibility is huge, and it takes one variable completely out of the equation and lets you focus on learning the rest. Alright, so let me walk you through the cook that I've done the most with this smoker, and those would be pork butts. I've done quite a few of these at this point, and I got the process dialed in. I start to cook at night, I coat the entire pork butt with mustard as a binder, and then hit it with a low-carb rub all over. I then place it into the grill fat side up, and I set the grill at 200 degrees Fahrenheit. I then go to bed and let this smoker smoke it all night. In the morning, I bump the temperature up to 275 degrees Fahrenheit and insert the probe. I'm looking for an internal temperature in the 195 to 200 degree range. Once it hits that window, I pull it off, break it all apart, and serve it up in bowls. Here's what I love about this cook. It produces a massive amount of food with very little active effort. You're doing maybe 15 minutes of prep at night, a temperature adjustment in the morning, and then you just sit there and wait for it to be ready. The reheat value of these pork butts is also very good. We'll eat off of one butt for several days and it tastes just as good reheated as it did fresh. For feeding a large family or meal prepping, this is just very hard to beat. I've also done a pork belly on the smoker using a similar process and it came out fantastic. But the pork butts are the workhorse cook in this house. The other thing we cook on the smoker all the time are chicken thighs. I place the thighs on the smoker and smoke them at 220 degrees Fahrenheit for around 25 to 30 minutes. Now, right after I put them on, I coat them with some mustard and then hit them with a little Tony Chachere's. After that initial smoke, I punch the temperature up to 400 degrees and let them ride until the internal temperature of the thighs are around 175 degrees. And that's all there is to it. The low smoke at the beginning gives you that smoky flavor, and the high heat at the end crisp up the skin. It's a quick and easy cook that my family tears through every time I make them. So now we'll talk about one of the major reasons that I bought this smoker, and that's because it is advertised as being able to sear steaks. The idea is that with a 600 degree top end limit, Not only can you smoke low and slow, but you can also sear steaks and burgers at high heat. I'll be honest with you, my results cooking steaks directly on the grates at 600 degrees have been decent. They're edible, they taste fine, but the sear itself isn't what you're looking for when you're cooking a steak. If you're used to using cast iron or a dedicated propane broiler, the grill grate sear on this thing is going to leave you wanting more. It's worth mentioning that most of the steaks I tried to cook with this method were around 1 inch to maybe 3/4 of an inch thick. So if I had thicker steaks, I think the success factor could have gone up when it comes to searing on the grill grates. Don't get me wrong, I was still producing food that my family was happy to eat, but I knew that the sear could be better, and that's what led me to the upgrade that I think completely changes the game on this grill. That upgrade is a flat top griddle insert. I purchased a flat top insert that Weber makes for this grill, and it makes all the difference. The process is simple. I put the flat top in, I crank the grill up to 600 degrees, and I let it preheat. Once it's ripping hot, I throw my steaks on. The contact sear that you get on this flat top at 600 degrees is a night and day difference compared to the grill grates. We're talking a real crust here, the kind that you can be proud of. I'll sear both sides and then let them continue cooking on the flat top until they hit around the 120 degrees internal temperature. I'll then pull them off to rest. This produces absolutely fantastic steaks. The results are honestly better than I expected from a pellet smoker. I run a similar process to these steaks on burgers, but they just don't need as long. You just sear them hard on the flat top and pull them when they're done internally. The flat top gives you that smash burger style crust that I just can't seem to get anywhere close to on the grill grates. Okay, so we've talked about how this grill performs. Let's talk about cleaning it, because I know that's a question on a lot of people's minds. First and foremost, after every cook that I do, I use a Mr. Barbecue Steam Clean brush by Scrub Daddy on the grates. This thing works great for keeping your grates clean, utilizing the heat of the grates and basically a dense sponge covered in steel mesh. They work very well and they're pretty cheap, coming in at only 20 bucks. After every 5 to 10 cooks, I come in and do a full clean. The process is fairly straightforward. You just scrape down the sides and the interior surfaces to knock all the ash and buildup down into the ash catch. I take each part out individually and dust them off. The plastic scraper that comes with the unit actually does a solid job here, but I also picked up a small broom which helps get into some of the corners. I know some people use a shop vac for this, and I'm sure that it works well, but I haven't needed one thus far. Once I get all of the ash worked down into the bottom of the unit, I pull it out and then dump it in my garden. At that point, I'll swap out a new grease catch, I'll dispose of the old one, and then I'm done with the deep clean. Start to finish, it takes me about 15 minutes, and then I'm set up for my next 10 or so cooks. It's not zero maintenance, but for the quality of food this thing puts out, 15 minutes every couple of weeks is nothing. So this is my verdict after 5 months with this grill. As a first-time smoker and someone who is completely new to this, the Weber SearWood has been outstanding. The temperature consistency, the Wi-Fi control, the ease of use, overall, all adds up to a machine that lets a novice produce food that tastes like it came from someone who's been doing this for years. The pork butts and the bone-in chicken thighs have become a staple in our house, and once I added the flat top, the steaks and burgers hit a level I genuinely did not expect from a pellet grill. If you're looking for your first smoker and you want something that's easy to use, holds its temp like a champ, and can also sear with the right setup, I would recommend this grill. It's been a fantastic addition to our outdoor kitchen, and I'm excited to keep experimenting with it with new recipes. If you're considering picking one up, or any of the accessories I mentioned like the aftermarket grease trays, the casters, a flat top, or the grill brush, I'll do my best to have everything linked in the description below. Some of those links will be affiliate links, and using those will cost you nothing, but they go a long way into helping out the channel. If you got something out of this video, hit that like button down below, consider subscribing, and this is Redbeard Engineered, signing off.